Jenny.
And I'm Thomas.
And welcome to Not Actually Crash Course Poetry. Today we'll be talking about narrative poetry.
What is narrative poetry, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Narrative poetry is any poem used to tell a story, often utilizing rhyme, rhythm, and repetition to make them easy to pass down. They aren't restricted to any one length, rhyme scheme, or style. They don't have to rhyme at all. They include ballads, epics, and idylls.
They originate from ancient Greece and Mesopotamia and include some of the oldest remaining works of literature.
Starting from the beginning, epics are long poems used traditionally to describe the lives of heroes and gods in conflict with one another and outside forces. Think Hercules and his fellow ancient manly men. These were used for a variety of purposes, including storytelling and moral instilling.
Some examples include the Odyssey by Homer, Paradise Lost by John Milton, and the Aeneid by Roman poet Virgil. Oh look, it's time for the not actual thought bubble.
The Aeneid tells the story of Aeneas, crazy name, right? A Trojan soldier fleeing the Battle of Troy after a sneaky Greek horse ruined the entire city. He travels around the Mediterranean, stopping in Carthage to have a brief love affair with Dido, their queen. This ultimately ends up with Dido killing herself and cursing Aeneas because he chose destiny over her. He then travels down to the underworld for some fatherly advice, and ultimately ends up in Latium, on the Italian peninsula. After some squabbling and minor incidents of murder, he establishes control over the region. As AP Latin students could tell you, the story definitely checks out as lengthy, and it's throughout the journey of a hero and challenges posed by an angry goddess, Hera. This epic delves into identifying ideal characteristics of a Roman man, and serves as a guide for contemporary morals, as well as touching on some political commentary.
That was a doozy. The next type of narrative poetry is ballads. Ballads are simple narrative poems that are set to music in order to tell a story with dialogue and action. They were meant for people who could not read or write, and were passed down through time. Most ballads follow a 4-stanza format. There are 2 types of ballads, American ballads and European ballads.
Miss Wells, are American ballads just European ballads, but with more freedom, liberty, and bald eagles?
Close, but American ballads derive from European ballads. These formed as early as the Middle Ages. European ballads tell stories to glorify the upper class and royalty. Think Elton John, Candle in the Wind. It glorified Princess Diana after her death. In contrast, American ballads tell stories to glorify the common man, like cowboys and lumberjacks. The more recent American ballads depict current events. John A. Lomax and Alan Lomax wrote American Ballads and Folk Songs in 1934. They noted that people tend to write ballads based on the working class, the most popular being murder ballads, bad man ballads, and occupational ballads. Oh, it's time for the mystery document?
The rules here are simple. Jenny reads the mystery document, and if she gets to the document correctly, then she doesn't get hit with a ball. Here we go.
Thanks. Let's see here. I only wanted to see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain, purple rain. I only wanted to see you bathing in the purple rain. Is it blue rain?
Sorry, Jenny, you're wrong. It's Purple Rain by Prince. The last form of narrative poetry is an idyll, a poem of moderate length used to describe peaceful rustic life, often simple in structure. It often utilizes imagery to describe the landscape in which it is set. Theocritus, a Sicilian born around 300 BCE, wrote the first recorded poems in idyllic style. His Aidola. The word idol was used throughout antiquity and was revived during the Renaissance. It was again popularized with two works, Idiles Heroiques, 1858, by Victor Richard de la Prade, and The Idylls of the King, 1859, by Alfred Lord Tennyson. These poems strayed from the classical subject of rural life.
Wow, that was a lot of information. Definitely learned a lot about narrative poetry.
Yeah, right. Well, thanks for joining us on today's lesson of Not Actually Crash Course Poetry. See you next time. Variety of purposes of instilling. Okay. Aeneid. Okay, Aeneid.
The
Aeneid.
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 The Aeneid. Id.
Aeneid.
Aeneid.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it surrounds the journey of a hero and challenges
Close, but American Ball. There we go. Okay. Narrative poetry.
Yeah, right. Well, thanks. He travels around the Mediterranean.
Definitely learned loads about narrative poetry.
Yeah, right. To have a brief. I'm gonna try that again.
A lot about poetry.